California in crisis for water and power. Hey everybody, this is Tom with Tom's Talk Show, and today we're talking about all the problems in California. There are so many. As a almost lifelong resident of California, I did spend a couple of months in living in Phoenix. I had an internship at McDonnell Douglas. They were building the MD-11 plane back in the 80s, maybe 90s, and I did that in Long Beach, and then they were designing all the controls there in the Long Beach facility, and then they sent all the designs to Honeywell in Phoenix, who was creating everything. So I worked one time at McDonnell Douglas there, and then I went over to Phoenix and worked there and stuff. And now, as of last year, we're in Florida. So yeah, so all the California problems aren't really my problems, but we still have friends and stuff that live there. So California is in a water crisis, and yet, I mean, people, the population is kind of leveled out. It's not growing as fast as it used to, with so many people exiting, and they're not doing what it takes to store enough water. They're letting too much water, run out basically run out into the ocean and not using it, because they haven't really done much about water storage for a very, very long time. And now this new thing with Lake Mead here. Lake Mead is just at devastating levels, because right now I do believe, yes, Lake Mead was measured at 1,044 feet on this last Wednesday, which means it is called an inactive pool. So that means there's not enough water spilling over to spin the turbines to generate power, I do believe powers Las Vegas, of course, some of the other surrounding cities. Some power goes to the Phoenix area, I think, another power goes to Los Angeles. So now we're talking, quite a bit of power for all the areas. I'm sure Palm Desert and all that gets, a little bit of power along the way. But so one of your main sources of electricity is going away. Now, where we lived, in Ventura area there, in California, while we had lived there, there were 2 natural gas power generating stations, and they shut both of them down. So these plants got a small feed of ocean water, use the natural gas. So much comes from, we get so much power from movement of and heating of water, right? So the natural gas comes in, you get the natural gas, you get the water comes in, heat it up, it spins a turbine, generates electricity. Then the water's, pushed off, it cools, it goes into the ocean, and we continue the cycle and stuff. But they had shut those down. So, there's brownouts going on all over California. And, here's 2 power plants. They work. There's nothing wrong with them. We could keep them running. Nope, they're shutting them down. So California keeps making these decisions that are not in its best interest, right? It's very odd. So, but now they get water from Lake Mead, and that generates power. So water and power, they're going to be, losing out on. So, and they haven't really done much. California's done a few small little dams, like here in Contra Costa, which is near San Francisco. Of course, San Diego, Riverside, San Bernardino, there's some small things. So these are acre feet, how much space. This is taking up 160,000, 24,000. Might as well, just fill up all your toilets and, with that, 800,000. So let's go back. When's the last time they actually built something big, right? Okay, here's 2.4 million. Okay, that's something. That's Calaveras. That's 1979. That's a long time ago. Anything else big? Where we go? Oh, here's another 2 million. 1971. That's Don Pedro Reservoir. What's the next big one? Oh, here's the big one. The big one, the Oroville Dam, 3 million. That was 1968. So they've done nothing big for 79. That's 40 years. So what have you been doing? Right? You need water. And that water can turn into power. So you've done nothing to, really to facilitate. I'm sure there are places where they could build dams, they could make power generating stations all over that state. There's mountains and stuff everywhere. You can make some new lakes and catch some of that snow and create power and preserve water for people that live there. Have they done any of that in 40 years? No. But the crazy thing is that they want you to, everybody needs to go buy an electric vehicle. We're not going to have power to power your electric vehicle, but you got to go do it, because, environment and all that stuff. Ooh. So, yeah, too many things. California faces power shortages and price hikes amid drought woes. I mean, it's obvious that there's the dam and portions of Lake Shasta. Seen an area view. Yeah, that's that one. See how far down that is? They have not been managing the water well. They're not doing. I mean, Lake Oroville almost broke, I think, 2 years ago. Almost, broke through. Hopefully, while the water's down, they'll be able to fix it. Here we go. California mandates electric cars for 2035. So 2035, they will not be able to buy a gas-powered vehicle in California. Is California ready for that? At the moment, California's infrastructure is woefully unprepared for the 2035 executive order. During recent heat waves, utilities have been forced to impose rolling blackouts to deal with hot weather and demands and fire danger. At its peak, while charging an electric vehicle can consume as much electricity as 3 households. I think we're beginning to see how stupid the government is in California. It's clear the electric grid cannot currently handle this shift to EVs. But a lot can change in 15 years. Let me explain how California works. City of, I think the county of Ventura, city of Oxnard, one of those, realized that, people are moving here in droves. We're going to put a freeze on any new building for 10 years. So that we can build infrastructure and build all the things that need to be done, some extra roads, some extra, power generation and power transmission. So capacity for water, capacity for sewer, all these things. We need to put all these things in place. So the city said, no building for 10 years. So the 10 years went by and everybody put in their building permit projects. And what happened? County did nothing, prepared nothing, put in no extra anything, no resources, nothing. I think mostly all they did was, hey, we can fill up our pensions with all this money. Hey, that's a good idea. So they didn't do anything. They didn't increase any of the infrastructure. They did nothing. And now their 10-year, no building mandate was released, and everybody who had put in permits over that 10 years immediately got the go-ahead to start building. So the city in that area of the county is in a world of hurt. They're, trying to do things to catch up, but it's just going to be, the traffic is going to be horrible. You're probably going to, try and turn your water on and it's going to drip out because there's no water pressure left because, 3 of your neighbors are taking a shower. We've got rolling blackouts. in the whole area. I mean, it's just so horribly, horribly managed. But but hey, you know, things can change in 15 years. Oh yeah, no, they're not going to. So I mean, if you right now, if you had a neighborhood, say of you know a small cul-de-sac of 15 houses, and all 15 of those people buy electric vehicles, and they all come home at 6 o'clock after work and plug their vehicles in, whole grid in that area would go off because, like this says, electricity is 3 households instead of 15 households. You're now powering 60 households in the same area under the same transformers and everything else. So, is there capacity there? No. Where does California get its power? It gets it out of state because they keep shutting down all the power plants in California. So now they're paying, I think they sold off the power lines to somebody else and all the towers to somebody else. So they're paying extra for those. You wouldn't even believe the power. When we lived in Northern California, we had, I think it was PG&E for power. And if we had everything off in the house. Other than the refrigerator, and then cooking food every once in a while, and everybody kept the lights off as much as possible. We would still have $300 and $400 electric bills. It's insane over there. People who lived in SMUD, the Sacramento Municipal Utilities District, would have 800. You have one light bulb on in the house, and the rest of it you're using a flashlight, and you still get $500, $600, $700, $800 electric bill. It is crazy that it is so horribly mismanaged there. We're saving a lot of money on electricity coming out here to Florida, and we don't have a problem with the water. We got water everywhere. So but I mean, it's I don't know what it's going to take. I mean, this mandate for this 2035 is going to have to go away, just for the sheer fact that it's going to be impossible. I mean, you're going to have people, no one, if you can't sell cars, then no one's going to be able to buy a car because no one's, I mean, right now, the one electrician I talked to out here says if you want an EV charging port put into your house, the price has quadrupled. So I don't know what it was before, probably $5,000-$6,000. He's saying it's $20,000-$25,000 now to get that put in your house. So not only does government want you to go out and spend $60,000 on an electric car, now you got to spend another $20,000 on being able to charge it. That is, if you're in an area that has enough power, and your neighbors don't go and do the same thing, because then you're just all dead in the water. And well, since Lake Mead's going to be gone, and there's going to be no, we're going to have to do they're going to have to do the rolling blackouts again. How are you gonna charge your car? Right? You pull up to, an EV charging station, and the screen's dead because there's no power. What are you going to do then? You're going to be looking at the people across the street at the gas station going, I wish I wouldn't have sold my gas car. Yeah. A lot of brilliance in these, but this is what they're trying to do right now. This is what Biden's trying to do right now with the rest of the country. They're trying to drive us right into California, drive us so we have no water, no power, no services. Everybody drives their little electric vehicle because it's going to be environmentally friendly. Oh, what they don't tell you, of course, is that how do you generate all that electricity? Well, if everybody goes to EVs, you're going to need to be putting up coal plants as fast as you can possibly build them, because you won't let us do any, fracking for natural gas. That's horrible. Even though natural gas is probably the cleanest, one of the cleanest alternative energies we have over coal right now. So nothing making sense for California. I don't know. I feel bad for all the people that I know that live out there. Mostly the reason that a big, huge reason why California is in such a bad spot is the environmentalists. Um, I mean, I'm all for protecting your environment and protecting what's there, but let's use some common sense. I mean, the half of the fires, probably at least half of the fires that are there, spread and go crazy because environmentalists have not allowed people to go in and clear cut a fire break. Oh, you might disturb some animals. Like, well, they're going to be disturbed when it all burns down. Okay, so let's irritate them a little bit now by putting in a fire break, and then then they'll get over it real quick, and then now we'll be able to save a lot more, and stop fires from spreading so fast and everything else. Same thing with why they haven't put any more reservoirs storage for water. Oh, there's a four-toed tree frog that somebody saw over here 20 years ago, so we can't put anything there. Yeah, they're crazy. It's crazy, but that's California, and I'm liking things much better out here. We live more in the country. We're out, where everybody kind of takes care of themselves and, kind of helps their neighbors out and community kind of thing. So, much, much better. Yes. So, but what do you think? Is California going to survive? Is California at some point going to change leadership and be able to get things back on course? Who knows, right? If Newsom decides to run for president, who's going to take over the state and further drive it into the ground? That'll be interesting if that all happens. All right, let me know what you think. California dead. Are you living in California? Are you leaving California? Let me know in the comments. Like, share, subscribe. Talk to you later.